And in the process, so it's almost like Halloween. Like when you go to Halloween and you see someone's costume, the costume can be terrible unless you react to it, go, oh my God, this is a great costume. And then eventually it is a great, and you give into it, they give into it, and you have a great time. Where the costumes really don't matter. It's the people's enthusiasm to buy into it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And like actually show appreciation for the effort.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I also like enthusiasm. I think is like one of the greatest attributes or whatever. But sometimes I'll see fake enthusiasm and I can't get it out of my head, and I'll see. I was like, I can't get beyond it.
It doesn't inspire you.
No, it doesn't. But I don't know. I wish it was the opposite way. I wish it wasn't like that, where I'm like, you're faking, and it fucking kills my boner.
I like there's people that I could call it out. Gino Bisconte was one of those. I used to do that too. Who we had on last week. Gino was someone who come in the room with all this energy, and I'd be like, nope, no one's that happy, Gino. You know what I mean? And it was just funny, like calling someone out who puts on the enthusiasm.
But yeah, you know what? I would say to turn it on, I think you do have to turn it on. I think we're in this time these days where we're like, no, it has to be real and authentic. It's like, look at me. Look how I'm dressed. You think I dress like this? This is some sort of fake enthusiasm of like, all right, try something different.
Holy shit. You might be right about that. Like, I think even high fashion is just that. High fashion is just fake enthusiasm, right? Like, I'm not dressed fashionably at all today. I don't care. I was tired. I'm jet lagged. So, like, the fact that I'm here is amazing. And had I dressed that like I was in a great mood, I'd be faking it. But that's pretty much anybody who dresses high fashion. No one feels that fucking way, do they? Have you ever felt this way?
I don't know. I think that I'm the wrong person to ask. I think fashion is like... it's something different. But like I'm saying, Dave, I thoroughly enjoy dressing in my costume.
Halloween.
Like, yeah, like every day like this, or like, hey, we're going to shoot the show, and like, what am I going to dress like me normal and then fucking be an angry fucking cunt?
Good for
like,
you.
You know, like, hey, let's be goofy. Let me put my clown clothes on.
Yeah.
My clown clothes, and I feel good, and it's probably better than dressing like you two, like Louis C.K. You know?
Or the you two that he's referring to is actually our next guest is coming on. I see him over here rolling up. Give it up for Michael Kerrigan. Come on, man. Come on over here. Sorry to put you on blast there. I enjoyed it. There was no shame there, but you don't seem like a guy who takes life too seriously anyway, so...
Not really. It depends on where I am.
Yeah, but people knowing that you were rolling up behind it, that's important.
Oh, yeah. I do what I do. You know, I'm not a big... I follow certain rules, and then the rest of them I'm just not going to do, you know?
Right. What do you think about the rules of being enthusiastic with dressing? Do you think...
I'm all about this type of stuff, just wearing weird shit and then not explaining it to your friends. Like, I don't want to hear their questions. I just want to wear whatever I want to wear. When I was a kid, I used to dress... I had this golden, like, suit that I would wear, and I didn't like anything else, and I wore it every day. I wore it to Catholic school, wasn't allowed. And then my parents eventually, my mom at a park, her and her friends stole it and threw it away and then said I lost it, which like started a whole... I didn't figure that out till like 3 years ago, like in bed. I go, they stole that jacket.
Wow.
I didn't lose that jacket.
Wait, so hold on. It was a golden suit?
Yeah, it was like a suit jacket.
Oh, just the jacket.
Yeah, I was born in the 80s.
If you're going to win like the Masters...
Yeah, it was kind of like one of those. Okay. I don't know where we got all our stuff hand-me-down, so I must say, like I scored. And I was like, dude, I'm never taking this off.
I got a solid gold
jacket. You know what? They kind of ruined I think I would have been a very fashionable kid, and then I just kind of faded out.
Yeah, once you're told something is out of reach, you kind of start to back off of it.
You know what's funny, though? This is not a bizarre story, but right in the vein of that, is when I was a kid, my parents dressed me up. I had to wear a uniform to public school.
What?
Yeah, crazy. And then on Fridays, I got to wear whatever I wanted to wear. And, my parents, shopped at thrift stores or whatever.
Now, wait, was this the school's rule or your parents' rule?
No, my parents' rules.
Okay, go ahead.
They're fucking dumb Polacks.
Yeah.
They were like, this is how it's going to be. We grew up in communism, and this is all we know. But anyway, so I had golden pants.
Ooh.
So I wore these pants, and people trashed me every day for it. These two guys, Mike and Mike. I sat in between them, and they would make fun of me so much that one day, and I just like was oblivious. I was like, okay, yeah, they're just fucking shitting on me every day. And one day, one of the guys, one Mike comes up to me. He's like, hey man, you just gotta stop wearing those pants. You know what I mean? Like he was bullying me so hard. He's like, yo, you just gotta stop. Please stop. But so I know, and then that is like, but that's our like authentic dress code. It's like the golden jacket or the golden pants, and yeah, it gets beaten out of you some way. Somehow your authenticity gets like hammered out of you. It's like, stop doing that. Stop wearing your jacket.
Yeah, they don't like when you stand out and you're like, you know what? It's just something about the herd. They all want. It's kind of like with the masks. Like I've talked to people who don't believe in them, but they want you to wear it because the other people got it on. They're like, I got to do it. You got to do it. I got in a fight with a guy like that. I'm like, but you don't believe in it. He's like, it doesn't matter. I got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah. I'm like that, but it's not. Yeah, I would force someone to put a mask on if it's like holding up the bus or the train. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, look, I don't care what you believe. I don't believe it either. I just want the train to move. It's fucked up that we got to put this thing on the move, but you're holding me up. So now I'm going to make you put it on just so that the train can move. It's like, I don't believe this. Don't mean to do this to you. I'm just trying to get forward, you know?
Yeah. See, I can respect the point of view like that. It's like, it's wrong, but I'm going to still do it. It's like a military type thing. Like, do I, you know, like we're talking 15 years ago, it's like, do I think that we should be invading Iraq? No, but we are. I'm in the military, and that's what we do.
I think that whole attitude is what's wrong with this whole country. We're just continually doing the wrong things, just to keep moving ahead, into our inevitable destruction.
And
that's the best part.
It's a learned behavior. I learned mine from my mom. You know what I mean? And it's weird because it's always very admirable to watch your mom do whatever it takes to survive, but I'm also watching my mom do whatever it takes to survive. So I'm learning that, you know, rules kind of go out of the window because, and it's a weird thing that I'm working to like unprocess now. And I see the rest of the country dealing with that also. Like there's been no consequences for any of us, you know, since 1776.
I think that's an interesting thing that it's like you in order to be principled, you have to be unprincipled. So sometimes in order to fucking take care of your family, you gotta do some shit that is, I guess it's like The Godfather. Like you do some stuff that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, this is very mobbish, this whole language. Like sometimes you gotta bend the rules.
Yeah. I mean, that's what our country's built on. That's what every great story is built on. Even the most righteous stories of like religion. I mean, you look at the story of Jesus. Jesus is going against the grain. You know what I mean? In order to be special. You know, like every rule that was out there, that book basically gives people to be like, there's something bigger than this whole thing that I don't need to answer to any of you. You know?
But that's also like our legal system is like that. I kind of love it. Like you can do fucked up shit and like kind of get away with it. And it's like, you're not being proven innocent. You're being proven not guilty.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like, you know, we want to send like, we will not send like 99 guilty people to jail if it's not for one person innocent. Wait, does that make sense? It's like you need to be like the rules will let tons of people that are guilty through the.
Oh yeah, that's like if you find out a judge is corrupt, everybody that he prosecuted gets out, even if they were guilty. It's just he was fucked up, so it all has to come
But I'm saying, like, if you're guilty or I'm guilty, is it without a shadow of a doubt that we are not guilty? You know what I mean? Like, there's
like prisoner's dilemma kind of thing, or
like a 1% thing, like, hey, he might be innocent, and you'll be free.
Right. That's the way the legal system works. Like, if it's a little piece of, because I think that's for them, the people who morally have to inflict a punishment. Because I think that's a whole other conversation. We're gonna get into Mike's opinion here, but that's a whole other conversation as far as like we put that responsibility of inflicting punishment onto someone else. So it's like, okay, if you want the death penalty, you guys need to be 100% sure he's guilty, because I got to carry the weight of that murder on my mind when I execute this guy for you all. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying that forget death penalty. Conviction has to be that too. Has to be 100% sure.
Because
Are you
even the
100%
thing-
sure OJ did it? 100%.
Right. Because you
I'm
once you take
99.9%. Not good enough. He's free.
Right, because you're not going to make me have the responsibility of punishing this person if there's a shadow of a doubt. Like, I'm taking on the most fucked up responsibility of holding this man in a cell for the rest of his life. I got to watch that. Not you, me.
Right.
So he better, I tell my daughter this kind of shit too. I tell my daughter that, I say, like when boys and girls go off 101, the boy, he thinks it's going to be something. Regardless of what your status is. If you guys were friends or whatever, in the back of his mind, there's still an opportunity. So when you go off 101, if that's not what you want, don't go. Because that's what's in the back of his mind. And this is why I justify it. And I always felt a little bit guilty about the way I expressed it. But I was like, because if something happens to you, I'm going to handle it. So if I handle it and I have to go sit in a box, you better be 100% right. Don't have me throw my life away because I might have wanted it. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, make sure there's no gray area because I'm about to have to do the unthinkable.
I would like to see at a whole, like, you know how they have like masterclass? I'd like to see your whole thing of parenting advice. Like, I think it'd be good. I'm not saying like it'd be some goofy ass shit. Like, I think it would be good. It's like, yeah, if there's a shadow of a doubt where you don't want this boy to touch you sexually, don't go out. But yeah, I think it's very logical. But then it gets to the point, it's like, so what were you wearing type stuff? You know what I mean? It's like, but I've
had
like
those talks with my kids too, man. So, Mike, man, what's your unpopular opinion this week, man?
Pretty much all my opinions are unpopular. I don't do any. I don't follow any COVID guidelines. None.
Good for
like absolutely none at all.
It's so funny to have someone tell you that right in your face on the microphone.
Yeah, I don't follow any of the guidelines, and I do a joke about it, but really the thing is, like, dude, none of the homeless died. Like, when I came, I was like, this guy is alive after COVID? This guy sleeps in dead pigeons.
Yeah.
Right? So that's my thing.
Mike, you're fucking making sense. If you hit me with 2 more points like that, I might start throwing all
I'll have you voting for Trump by the end of this show.
Well, here's what I think about COVID, and this is why, like, you would have that opinion. I the same thing. Like, I don't do shit. It's because we're healthy people.
Yeah. And I was exposed to it so much. Like, I took care of my parents with it, and I didn't mask up because I assumed, I was like, dude, you're going to get it. You're in the house. Or you're not. And then I didn't get it. I'm like, all right. And that was already way in. So I was working through COVID, so I was on the train every day.
Yeah.
I did, maybe the first day, there was like one day where I masked up, and then I remembered from construction, those masks don't work on dust. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Viruses are smaller than dust. And I mean, they work 0% on dust.
Why don't they work?
There's no filtration on those masks, those surgical masks, in any way. It just comes right in the side.
Oh, okay. So
like,
it's nothing in, nothing out, and through the side.
It just comes all in. Like, I used to do it, I'll be sanding plaster. And I'd put one of those on when I couldn't get a real mask, and it does nothing. You're filled. Your nose is filled. That's so like they knew that too, and I knew they knew that, and I looked it up. Then I was like, I'm not doing this because I know the real one is I have them in my bag. The N95 with the breather.
Yeah.
That one works.
Okay.
So it was just like you know what it was? It's kind of pageantry that I didn't want to play along with. I guess that's the way I've seen it.
Yeah, it's like being a mechanic, and then when they come out with some new brakes that they say are better, and you're like, you don't really need that.
But I think it's like it is this thing in me, and I think it's the same with you. It's like it's just like being contrarian. It's like no fucking for some reason I think this is wrong. You know what I mean? Like they say like the crowd is always wrong. I think that's true. It's like everyone's going this way. It's like for some reason in my gut, I don't know why, and I'm willing to die on that hill or down that crossway. It's like whatever you guys are all doing, I'm doing the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty obliging with certain. There is certain things though where I will go like crazy on.
Where were you knowledge-wise of viruses and stuff like that prior to this?
I just basic knowledge about it. Wasn't too worried about them. The mask was the one thing that kind of threw me on. That I'm like, these guys are lying, like, because they know it.
Yeah.
See, it's not a question like if you're a what do you call it, a virologist, like this isn't something you haven't figured out yet. You know those masks don't work. They've been tested like 50 years ago. They knew it. And they came out with it in the beginning and said it, that those are useless. And then they came back and said they work. And I'm like, well, how? Explain to me how. They don't,
Right,
and they were
right.
talking about spitting, and then people were giving me the analogy, they're like, no, if I'm peeing and I have pants on and you don't have pants, I'm like, dude, shut up. Have you ever heard that analogy?
I tuned everything out, man, because I only knew no one. It was too much information that, like, even if I heard the right information, someone was going to tell me that it was wrong, and I wasn't going to be able to decipher what was what. So I hear it all, but I don't research it, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? I'm just the typical, like, hood dude, like same way I was before. Like, all right, I'll find out what I need to know,
Yeah, me and hood people are on like the exact same plane as far as it. We were on the train maskless and like there'd be a nod.
Yeah.
And then when there's a hood dude, the only people that are going to accost you on the train for that is liberal white people.
Right.
So if there was like a black guy or whatever, I just sit right beside him. And they'd be like wanting him to get up so they can come at me, but I'm like, you ain't gonna say nothing.
Right.
Nothing to
Right.
this guy.
And you were cool with that. However.
Yeah, I actually really like that. That's one of my other favorite things is watching like I can tell like real liberal people to be reading like a book on like how to save the world, and I'll like make eye contact with them when they just ignore the homeless guy asking them for money.
Yeah.
I just keep staring at them like, yeah, you ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
Help this guy. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just so fun.
They're just angry, man, without any kind of results.
You know what
for it.
I thought was Sam said this the other day that we were playing basketball and he's like, like Queens is less liberal than Brooklyn, so they don't have as much mask mandates in Queens. It's like so funny, just one little imaginary line, and it's like if you're in Brooklyn, you're just so fucking up your own ass and liberal and or too liberal or whatever, and then we gotta wear the mask, we gotta do this and that, and you're all just have more. You're more likely to be full of shit
when your rent is low and you've got a lot of education, because you got less to worry about. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. Yeah. You know what? Brooklyn needs an increase in rent. That's what it needs. That'll get people to focus a little bit.
I think it needs to go the other way. That'll bring more of the work. Lower the rent.
Lower it?
Yeah, make it real low so it's like hood again.
That's why
I
no one's
agree.
thinking.
Yeah, and scare these guys, right?
Even still, though, Brooklyn is the cheapest rent, right? It's still the cheapest?
Maybe.
compared to everything else?
I don't know.
I mean,
Queens is
not
cheaper.
the Bronx, but like...
Bushwick is definitely... When I lived... Bed-Stuy wasn't cheap when I lived there.
Okay.
Bushwick was, though. That's where a lot of dudes live. Bushwick was... I don't know if it's cheap, but it was... You got a lot more for your money.
Huh.
You get like a nice new, apartment that redone up, brand new, everything.
Uh-huh.
That's what I noticed. Queens is the cheapest I've ever lived in, but I got like a deal. I live in we don't have gas. There's a lot of problems at my place.
Right.
Landlord he just comes in at all the time,
Well,
like
no
constantly.
wonder you don't care about any other vaccine mandates because you're already living in the wild, wild west.
Oh yeah, they got like I don't know if I'm assuming it's illegal Airbnb going on downstairs. It's always. For a while there, it was like he was only renting to like meth addicts. Do you know what I mean? You just come in and be like a guy and a girl. One lady, the first week of Corona, she robbed the bank twice that week. On foot, walked up because everyone was masked up, and I seen her outside. And I'm like, dude, she robbed it on a Wednesday, went back 2 days later, robbed it again. She's staring in the Airbnb below me.
Good for her. Shit.
Yeah.
Only using the mask for bad shit. I
No
love
gun. That's what
Yeah.
I respect, a no gun.
I respect
robbery.
her quickly. Like you said, it was at the beginning.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So she
First week.
immediately sniffed out a weakness.
Oh, yeah.
And fucking exploited it.
Oh,
man.
big time.
No doubt, man. Well, this is great, man. Mike, where can the people find you at if they're looking for you?
You can find me at Mike T. Kerrigan on Instagram. Tonight I'm at LOL hosting the 9:30. I'm pretty much there like every night now, so.
All right. Well, catch him out there, man.
Come check me out. Get some $18 drinks. Right?
Nice.
Love that place.
No doubt. Thanks, man. Thanks
Yo,
for
man,
coming
thank
through,
you.
man.
Thank you for having
Appreciate
me.
you, man.
Thanks, Conrad. All right. I'll just put it
Dude,
down.
that is funny though because also you would think people that are like anti everything mask mandate would be a bit like more extreme. Like everyone's expecting everyone who's like anti-mask or anti-COVID to be like everyone from January 6th, with the fucking Viking hat and face paint. It's like, we're going to war.
Mm-hmm.
But then some people that could just explain it logically, like, hey, look, I didn't get it. I don't agree.
Yeah,
I'm over here with these black people.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird how certain people think that things are extreme points of view when they're not.
Oh, so you don't think it's that extreme to be like, fuck everybody?
No. I mean, yeah, I don't think that it is, but people are like, if you do X, you're do also this crazy shit.
Oh, okay.
Where it's like, yeah, man, I don't want to wear a mask on the subway. Okay, is that insane? No, it's not insane.
No, it's not insane, but it is impressive to just go against the grain. That's what I think is more impressive. Yeah, I guess we translate insane and impressive kind of like loosely tread the same line, because it's the same way, like if you look at like Kobe Bryant's like dedication to practice, you go like it's insane, but it's also impressive.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Very well put. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like I don't think that anybody is really that insane. I say that lightly, but like
I think our next guest is
okay.
that insane. Nah, I absolutely love this guy though, man. He's in here tonight. Give it up for Ray Gootz, man. Ray Gootz, come on in here, man. See, look at that outfit and these colors there, man.
He's got a comedy costume too.
What's up, man?
How you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling good. I walked here from Astoria.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's why I was a little late. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what's your unpopular opinion this week, man?
I got two, but I think because I was listening to Michael, you want me? I'll do the first one because it's more about like COVID and shit. I feel like if Trump got reelected, we'd still be in full lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Explain. Elaborate. Huh?
Okay. Well, like I just feel like the moment like Biden got in, a lot of like Cuomo and because in November Cuomo was like, we got to shut everything down. Not even one person could die from this. If one person dies, it's a tragedy. And then like 2 weeks after the inauguration, April 23rd, all the comedy clubs are going to reopen. We got to move on with our lives. Like everybody. And I feel because they were like against Trump and Trump was like, whatever, we got to move on, right?
Okay.
They were like, no, screw you. Like, look at what this guy's a monster. We're going to keep everything closed. I'm trying to save everybody. You know, they're playing that game. Then when they got rid of him, they were like, business as usual.
Because we tried to open up February 14th. So the inauguration was the 20th.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, Valentine's weekend.
Yeah. They were right away. But I feel like if he was still around, still like kind of like having his rallies, he's like, COVID's not a big deal. Cuomo or whoever would be, I don't know if Cuomo would have resigned, but they'd still be going like, okay, maybe we'll open up comedy clubs like 10%, but like I can't afford anyone to die, you know, like this, that, and the third. That's what I kind of feel. I kind of feel like...
So it's like spite.
Yes, I kind of feel like we'd still be having the lockdowns out of spite against it. Maybe you should have voted for Biden if you wanted things to reopen.
Which is funny, too, because I wonder also... When you said would Cuomo have resigned, I don't think the attention would have went that way.
No, because he would be too busy like pretending like, you know, I'm trying to protect you and your kids and schools.
But also like just the news to even focus on the Cuomo thing. Like if Trump was still in office, Trump was such a media vacuum.
Yeah.
That, I mean, you watch the news was scrambling.
Every day he would say something so ridiculous that it would trump the If Obama said one thing that Trump had said in the last 4 years, it would be the news for 20 years. Can you believe when Obama said like this thing, or can you believe Obama got sued for raping a 13-year-old? That would be just the whole news for 50 years. But Trump, it's like you just get in, you know, like just every day there was something new. He said this, he said that. He called North Korean dictator an idiot. It just like blends together after a while.
And I think Trump is of that cloth where he would have had no problem having us all still locked down at this point. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, he would have been trying to reopen things, but I feel like a lot of the liberal, and I'm liberal, I'm not conservative, but a lot of the liberal governors would have been playing games, been like, no, everything has to remain closed. New York City's dying because he was reelected. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, New York City's been closed for a second year because we couldn't get rid of this guy.
You could say like, didn't the vaccine come out like the day after the election or something like that?
It did come out a few days after the election. I feel like even with the vaccination rates the way they are, because so when they shut down restaurants in November or whatever, we were at 3% infection, and we got to 3%. We like blew past 3% like 2 weeks ago, and they're just like, concert in the park, you know what I mean? Yeah, concert. And like a few, and like, you know, so even with the vaccination, like the vaccinations are just not. If he was in office, he's trying to murder you. The vaccinations aren't enough. Trump's trying to murder you. So I feel like you were a little bit lax because like the whole goal was to get rid of him, and we got rid of him.
You know what'd be fucking awesome is if like him and Cuomo, Trump and Cuomo, like. Tag team partnered up and started running for president again, like like the Bushwhackers, the Legion
or the NWO, the NWO.
Yeah, like because that's the whole thing with wrestling is like you can be a good guy one day, bad guy the other day, but you still get rooted for. They're like fuck it, The Rock and Stone Cold. They're like, let's go. So Cuomo and Trump together with if they came out on big belts.
it's hard to be like a Democrat and just own that you harassed women. It's much easier because like Trump was like, yeah, I said grab by the pussy, but Hillary Clinton should be in jail, and everybody's like, good point, you're elected.
Yeah.
But Cuomo tried to pull the same thing, and people are like, nah, dude, you should just leave. Like, what? I touch women, whatever. Let's focus on Corona, you know. And that doesn't work with liberals. That doesn't work. You can't do that. That's why I feel like, you know, like when Louis C.K. and Aziz Ansari got canceled, they were appealing towards like upper class liberal white people, and you can't appeal to those people and then be revealed that like, oh, you're kind of creepy in the bed. It's like, oh no, you get, you know, we thought you were a feminist and shit like that. You got to like appeal to like, you know, the drunks on Long Island to get away with that stuff.
Which is so weird, man. Which is so weird. That's a whole other path down there. So okay, and so what's the second unpopular opinion?
Second one is I just don't think people really read like famous figures. I don't think people do any research in the famous figures. They just like take one thing from them and then they just mold it to whatever. Like I was reading a book about Martin Luther. I read a book by Martin Luther King, Why We Can't Wait. Because when 2021 started, I was like, you know what? I think there's going to be another year of lockdowns, or even if things reopen, I'm not going to get a lot of spots. It's going to be like a hard road back. So I'm going to read 100 books this year, one book a year. So for 1964, I read Why We Can't Wait by Martin Luther King. And on Facebook, I wrote a thing, hey, I'm just curious, has anyone ever read a book by Martin Luther King? Because everybody argues about racial politics on Facebook and Twitter. Everyone has these arguments all day long. And I want to be like, did anyone actually like read this guy's words? No, it got no likes. It got no comments. I might as well ask, has anyone read the Chinese arithmetic handbook from 1642?
Yeah.
Like, and when I read him, because I think everybody just thinks like, everyone kind of like boils it down to, I have a dream, a white boy and a black girl like play together. So people go to a playground like, look, there's a black kid and a white kid playing together. The dream has been achieved, and they leave. No, the dream, when he goes, I have a dream, he meant like Harlem is just as affluent and as there's opportunities to make money like there is in like San Francisco or LA, or like, so Compton's at the same level of Astoria. You know, that was what he meant by equal. Like you can go be a doctor in Compton and make the money you would make at Lenox Hill over here. That's what his dream ultimately was. It wasn't like, you know, your kid and his kid go play in the playground.
But was his dream economic?
Eventually, that's what it was going to come to. Like all like black communities should be on equal footing as white communities.
Yeah, because here's my unpopular opinion. Economics has nothing to do. Like there's no justice in economics.
No, I know, but that was like his long-term plan, his long-term goal, and like people kind of always just forget about that. Like they don't mention that, but that was what he meant. He goes, equality is equality. That means like you go to be a doctor, you can make the same amount of money as a white dude makes.
You know what though? I think because we only learned about it at like an elementary level. Like I want to say everything I learned about Martin Luther King kind of stopped after like 5th or 6th grade. Then it was like, okay, his name was like on the building in middle school, whatever. You knew who he was, but like we didn't get into anything else. You know, like that was it. It's just.
And then the other guy I read about Abraham Lincoln, and he like was. Depending on where he was running for president, he was against and for slavery. And the reason why he went against slavery was if the South won, they were going to run out of black people to be slaves. Like they were just going to have so many slaves. You know, if we were going to increase our distribution the way the country grew, we were going to run out of black people to enslave. So we'd eventually have to enslave the lower white class.
White people,
Yeah, to keep it going. And people were like, absolutely not. We cannot make white people slaves. So that's why Abraham Lincoln had to come out against slavery. And he did it when he was 46 years old. And that's like the one thing he's known for. And it's like, I don't know, like there's more to these people. Like we just distilled them to like one thing, and we don't really research these people. And it's
that sounds like he was doing mushrooms, and like he thought about it and was like, "Holy shit,
white people!" Slaves.
Yeah, man, we gotta stop this. guys. Trying to help them all out before they run into fucking.
We did not have white slaves. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah, and you can't because like, have you seen any of these footage? Like, I just don't think white people can get it done.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like Chinese people, they've got it in them. Black people have it in them. I guess Jews have it in them too, right? Jews were slaves in Egypt and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
we didn't have a lot of Jews back then though, so we'd have to like make like the Southerners slaves.
Yeah,
the lower white class.
Because white people they don't do as well in the sun. You know,
they're very entitled to. Like,
they would have been like, you can't whip me. Where's your manager?
Yeah.
Like who started the unions? It's white people.
Their times in the 40, they're just not up to par. Like.
But yeah, so like there's like I feel like people just take things like like they picture Abraham Lincoln as like this bleeding heart guy from when he was born. And no, it was all like there's like a lot of misinformation that we believe.
And do we know why John Wilkes Booth shot him in the head?
I think it was about the slavery, the whole that he freed the slaves and stuff. I think like people were annoyed at him about that, and then so they got John Wilkes Booth to shoot him. Yeah.
There's no more John Wilkes Booths running around.
Now,
like, are those days?
I mean,
done?
now you've got to really. I mean, like back then, like when you think about how easy it was to like shoot
Get
a
to
president.
the president.
Back,
Yeah.
Now, I mean, now you really gotta have a plan.
I mean, the guy who killed Kennedy has to be pretty close.
Well, I think now you just have to cough on Joe Biden. You probably get him. So
Jesus
you
Christ.
you just get someone to cough on him or sneeze. And
Yeah.
He'll
Over or
fall down.
under? You think this guy's gonna make it through his thing? I know that was a big thing. Everyone's like, he's gonna die, and then Kamala be president. So that's why a lot of women voted for
I
him.
don't think he's gonna make a second term. I don't
Yeah.
think he's gonna run. I think he's just here to like when they get, and then they're gonna prop up someone else.
That's not a good reflection on our country either. If our leader dies of old age,
Mm-hmm.
like that,
Well, I
that
don't-
can't be good, right?
Let me ask you a question. Like this club, Stamp New York. Like if Stamp New York needs a new manager, are they going to hire like an 80-year-old man, or are they going to hire like a 20-year-old, 25-year-old person? I don't understand why we have like 80-year-old people running this country. Like,
Okay, I think I know why, and it's
Mm-hmm.
only because I think every 7 to 10 years, life cycles.
yeah,
Meaning you'll see, if you pay attention to each decade, you'll notice some patterns and things in there. And I think most of us around the 4th or 5th cycle, your 40th decade, your 4th decade or 5th decade, you kind of pick up on life. And you go,
Yeah.
oh, okay, but you got a lot going on or whatever situation where you can't fully take advantage of it. You're wise, but you can't take advantage of it. The people who make it to the 70s and the 80s, that 3 different life cycles, I think gives them such an advantage over just under, like there's nothing that they haven't seen. You know what I mean?
I know I get that, but like on a smaller level, we never we don't let them make decisions at a target. So you never see like I
Yeah,
think
but America's so awesome. It doesn't matter who runs it.
there you go. There you go. That's a good point. So
It
The-
just
the
keeps
throw in
going
anybody.
and
It's
going.
it's amazing. America
Yeah.
is fucking awesome. Go ahead. You want a 90-year-old woman? To go ahead, throw in there as president. Should be fine. We'll be.
it's just weird that like a lot of the Senate is just old motherfuckers and like
Yeah,
it's
and
weird.
no, the weirdest part is, all jokes aside, is that everybody's like, are they all baby boomers? Like every president,
Mhm.
is Barack Obama a baby boomer?
I would say yeah.
Yeah, so like they're all baby boomers, so they're all like this one age have just been ruling.
And like the thing with when Kennedy ran, everyone in his team was like under 40, and they were like, we're gonna make this like a big, or like under 45, we're gonna make this a big youth push. But then they all got shot, so maybe that's why we don't do it.
And they
Young people
they
do get
died
shot.
in plane crashes.
They
and
died in plane crashes, and we'll supposedly.
I think that Kennedy. Here's an unpopular opinion. I think that Kennedys are cursed.
Well, the
by the
Kennedys weren't as
devil.
great as Martin Luther King was not a fan of JFK. He wrote it in his book, and then like he said, he was finally becoming a president, and then he got shot. So, but he also said that because I don't know if you looked into it, but 1963 they were burning down schools and shooting people that were protesting and stuff. He said because you allowed all that to go unchecked in this country, it eventually led to someone shooting the president. Like you can't let all this violence that was going on go on in this country unchecked, and then it's going to lead to them shooting the president. But JFK wasn't that good until the end, and then when he got good, they had to shoot him. So yeah.
I mean, that whole family is cursed, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
They had some like plane crashes. The kids died in plane crashes. The brother was killed. Who's the guy who drove the chick into a river?
Oh, Ted Kennedy.
Did you know about this?
Nah.
You didn't know he drove a chick into a river?
I don't follow.
The uncle drove a car into a river with a woman, and he left the woman in there to drown.
It sounds like someone's figuring out how to teleport them to the other side, and it's just like, come on, everyone, get here as soon as you can.
It's wild. It's wild. But yeah.
No doubt, Ray, man. This is dope, man. Where can people find you if they're looking for you online, man?
Check me out. I have a podcast about Disney movies. Me and comedian review Disney films. Gootz is Disney Pod. Also, you check me out on Twitter and Instagram, Ray Gootz. And I have a show at the Stand next Monday, 7 o'clock. So go to the Stand. You can see me. They should be there. All right, man.
All right, cool, man. Thanks
Thank
for coming
you, brother.
through, man.
Thanks for having
Appreciate it, man. No doubt, man. Ray Gootz, man. Holy shit, the Gootz, man. That is I don't know, man. That's pretty wild. Like to just think about like. Fuck, I forgot what his opinion was. Just trying to rehash that shit. What was your opinion again? The second one?
That nobody really reads into historical figures.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
We just take them for like one sentence, and then we argue about things we don't really know about.
Yeah. I just like people get excited. It's the thing to just be on board with. I just watched Marlon Wayans special. He had a Breonna Taylor jacket on. It's just on some like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, didn't she get killed for the like an odd reason? Like it wasn't like because she was black or a woman.
I mean, just no one was doing that before. Like, what's the guy Marvin Gaye and them? They weren't like running around with like Rodney King jackets or Emmett Till jackets. Like it's just a weird.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a weird avenue to go down to get any attention.
James Brown wasn't wearing like Malcolm X on his jacket.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, it's again that thing of not really researching even what you're doing. Like, are you paying homage or what do you people get so? My mom would not let me wear Malcolm X jackets, like, because when people were wearing X jackets in the 90s and I wanted one so bad, my mom was like, no. And I was like, why not? She was like, because you don't know what it's about.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
At the time, it wasn't. At the time,
No, I'm
it
saying
was
like that's
fucking
legitimate
infuriating.
mentally. Like, all right, you wear it when you know what the fuck.
Yeah, my mom's like, you're not wearing it because you don't know what it is or what it's
And
about.
he was Muslim too, so that's not good.
Jesus Christ.
No, because I mean, black people are usually Christian, and that's not good.
What?
No, I don't know.
To listen to Muslim? I mean, Philly, it was like half and half, man. I don't know.
It was. I mean, Philly's an interesting place with the
You want to talk
Muslims.
about interesting? I just came back from Minneapolis. A lot of Muslims out there.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Selling pies on the side of the.
Not that kind. Like, these are not, they're not like American blacks. These are like Ethiopian. Like, what's that movie? Remember Captain Phillips? Yeah. You remember the movie Captain Phillips?
Sure.
The guy who does the I'm the captain now. He's like from there. Like that's where they found him. It's like in Minneapolis because there's like a huge population of them out there. Like so to see like in the Mall of America, like people just like hit the prayer thing at like 5 o'clock. You're like, whoa, like this is serious. A lot of Muslims.
I
here,
actually
man.
like the prayer. I like, I'm generally anti-Muslim. But I do like how disciplined their prayer is. I really do like that. It's like the guys who like they have like halal cart and some shit.
Yeah.
They're like with
They will
their
make you
carpet
wait.
is bigger than the cart.
And they will, yeah.
And they'll get out
No, yeah.
and they'll go and they'll pray and I'm like, I respect that
It's a
fucking
concept
discipline.
of giving yourself the best. I'm even now trying to learn to focus on meditating when I first wake up as opposed to grabbing the phone. Trying to give myself 10 minutes when I first wake
Hard.
up. Very hard.
Yeah.
So the discipline to shut it all down and be like, nope, I'm about to pray, and to do that multiple times a day, like
Yeah, dude, I even think that the Jews got it right with the fucking Sabbath. Saturday, shut it down. Those motherfuckers had candles, and they're like, nah, all the candles gone from Friday night to Saturday night.
Yeah,
and then
but
now they're
just
even
using
like
it
ahead
now.
of they're ahead of the curve.
Yeah, but they just use it now to not answer questions about your security deposit and all kinds of
Whoa.
weird shit.
I do, yeah.
All right, man. My next guest, I just saw him walk in here, man. Give it up for Casey Aurora, man.
Yes.
Casey Aurora. Who also can tell us some things about meditation, I think, right? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
This is fantastic. I love the setup you got.
Yeah.
Conrad's dressed well, and
It's absolutely
you look like
ridiculous.
you're going to the gym.
Yeah, man. Well, the concept is, people wear suits to try to hide the fact that they're not a good person.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
I don't hide.
Okay.
You know
fair.
exactly who I am.
Okay.
That's why politicians wear suits.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't dress like
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah.
Okay. That's true.
I'm not trying to ever fake that I am better than I am. If you find out that I'm a good person, great. That means you gave someone a chance.
Right.
It's like that's what you're supposed to do also, right?
Fair. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I get it. All
Yeah.
right. I got to say, I got to piggyback off of what Ray said, that they teach a lot of stuff in history class, like the shittier figures earlier on, Or
Before
like
you can process too
before
much
you can
shit,
really
yeah.
understand them. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
not to say Martin Luther King was shitty, no, but like what's his name? Columbus. you'll learn about Columbus early on, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll learn a little bit about Martin Luther King. But like you said, after elementary school, you don't really learn enough about him.
Yeah.
Because the guy was cheating, right? The guy was up to some stuff. So I think that they get all those guys out early, and then this way you don't need to know more. You know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's not my unpopular opinion.
No, but I get what you're saying. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because, I mean, even when you start hearing truths about, like, Santa Claus and shit like that, like, the story is kind of fucked up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, or the tooth, like, any of those stories, Hansel and Gretel, like, you know, they give you, like, a sugar-down version, and then when you're old enough to hear the real, they're like, let's not.
What's the fake version about the Tooth Fairy?
Tooth Fairy, that didn't come from a good thing, right? Like,
I didn't know.
I think there was like a country where you had diseases and you were waking up and your teeth were like under the pillow or some shit like that. Like if you fall asleep and you wake up with missing teeth.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's where that
They tried to
goofy
like
custom comes
mix it
from.
to be like, oh, the Tooth Fairy, it's a good thing.
That's what they were trying to do.
That's
yeah.
so funny.
I honestly think Christmas is even like that. Like
Right.
just because in most
He comes
parts-
into your house and takes your shit.
No, no. But it's more like it's to cover up the fact that we might be dying this winter. Like, hey,
Jeez.
all of the cold and everything is coming in,
God.
so let's just eat all of the food in the cabinets and let's take a nap and let's,
Right.
hey, you know, that's actually
Lord.
all of that cold seeping in.
Mhm.
That's actually Santa. He's coming to bring you gifts. Don't be scared. You know what I
Right,
mean? But
right,
it's
right.
like, because you think about it, that's when most people die is in the winter. Like,
Yeah,
that's when
that's
all
true.
the sickness
Yeah.
and disease, and this is like Christmas came at a time where, yeah, everybody don't come back in the spring.
You know, we're talking about historical figures. I was reading that John Wilkes Booth, he didn't have any slaves. Ain't that a bitch?
Wow, so he was really just doing
Yeah.
it for the
Yeah,
people,
because he
huh?
couldn't afford them. He
Yeah.
didn't even have a SAG card.
He was he was rooting, he was hoping that slavery would be around long enough where he could get one, you know? And isn't that the
wow.
it's just like he's hedging his bets.
Wow.
Like his family had slaves, but then he became an actor, right? So he didn't have slaves. So this was him hedging his bets. Also, he didn't want black people to be citizens, but that's not the other. That's not the other thing. He was like very upset
Which
about
is
that part.
understandable. Why would you want to give up power if you have it?
Yeah, but it's like you're an actor. Who the hell are you?
Yeah, but if you're an actor, you're actually at the highest. You're socially and historically the highest of your whole legacy. Like if you're an actor, like all of your generations did awesome behind you.
Right. So then what did you do with it?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, so
Nothing.
is there any
Right.
chance that he was right?
What do you mean?
Like,
Oh, this is loaded.
I'm just saying, like,
Yikes.
for him to, because actors usually don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
No, of
when
course
they get
not.
political.
Right.
So is this guy just making a mistake when he got into politics?
You think that if they had given him better plays about progressive behavior, he wouldn't have shot
No,
Abraham
I'm just,
Lincoln?
Like, you know how, like, when actors start trying
Can somebody give John some progressive plays?
Is that why Hollywood is so ultra liberal now? Is that they're making up for John Wilkes Booth's error?
yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think Hollywood. I mean, I think that art now is stifled because of woke culture. You know, like they don't have because they don't want to put their neck out to get to suffer a consequence. That's why art now is stifled. And that's why you'll see a lot of
Yeah.
reboots.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of like they'll bring something back or they'll do some sort
but
of prequel.
that's more the artist, right? Because the artist care
artist
more
is
about
afraid.
being successful.
Right.
That's why the only reason why they're afraid is they want to enjoy the fruits of, like, everyone has an ego where they want to be recognized for being a great artist.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Well, that's the thing.
I mean,
None
like
of the great artists.
95% of artists, I would say, want to have some sort of success, right? You don't want to suffer in this business for the rest
Well,
of your...
it's
I
a
mean,
lot of-
except this podcast, but that's...
'Cause that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
like,
I like this podcast. That's why I'm here. But it's mind-boggling how it should have more listeners and viewers.
well,
That's how much I like it.
it
is
takes
what
a
I'm saying.
while to find stuff organically. And we're
Right.
learning search engine
Sure.
optimization
Okay.
and algorithms and all that stuff.
You're going to
know?
throw some Indian terms at me?
Yeah, but also like
I like how you're trying to play yourself. All right.
if I kind of like Hollywood, and I shouldn't say Hollywood because it's almost like saying the government.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like the way that things work now is like being in entertainment business is essentially like it's almost like you're an employee at Chase Bank.
Hold on,
It's-
say that again. Being
like-
an essential
Yeah,
employee?
being like no. If you're like working in the entertainment business, it used to be on the fringe where if you were a comedian, you were an entertainer, whatever. Like you could do some wild shit, man. You were shooting heroin, drinking, That's not it. But I mean, you're doing all this crazy shit, and no
Right.
one was like even paying attention
because
Now-
it wasn't as profitable.
For many reasons, yeah. Yes, but now everyone's paying attention to what you do, so nothing is on the fringe. So if you work in, say you're Brad Pitt, you have no freedom. You are essentially working for. You're essentially working for like J.P. Morgan.
I see what
Right.
you're saying.
Because you're this entity, and
There's a
anything
lot
you-
of money behind you.
Yeah, and anything
Right.
you do, we have everyone on the internet is an HR rep. You know what I mean? Like they
Right.
don't even get paid, but they'll snitch on you and they'll tell
Sure.
on you. It's like
Well, you
Brad
know
Pitt,
what?
he said this thing and you shouldn't do that and that's bad and then whatever. But like that's what it is now. So like to be an entertainer right now is it's the worst time to be an entertainer ever because people are they're just.
But we also we assume that those celebrities are hurt by the things that are taken from them, and I'm doing all of that shit in captions, like because like, okay, if you're Brad Pitt, right, and you've made millions and you're expanding, doing your family, and then you do something weird, and they take away this endorsement from you,
Right.
you know what I mean? Okay, cool. This money's been causing me problems. Like, have you ever lost like a large amount of
we're not
money and
talking
was
about the
relieved
guys
by
at
it?
the
Yeah, I mean, there is less stress when you lose that. I mean, it sucks to be poor. That blows. I don't have a lot of money, but it's
Yeah.
like that pressure is no longer there. And I guess there is a freedom with that, but at the same time, like money causes people to take that choice to be that company man, right? And those that are at the top will still be able to delegate
Right.
their emotions and feelings, right? Like for example, when Black Panther, right? Was that the name of the movie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Panther came out, right? It grossed an absurd amount of money. Now, the actor died, right? Whose name I'm forgetting. Chadwick Boseman.
Boseman, yeah.
Yes. Which is, now you would think that they would probably do a sequel, right? And then they decided we're not going to do a sequel. And I believe it's because since Chinese people look down on black people, they're willing to go, let's keep to our principles of not liking black people, which is why they wouldn't have a second Black Panther. And they
What do
spun
the
it
Chinese people have to do with it?
because they're the ones who back all the money. They're the ones who have all the money in this game.
Okay. But if they like money, a sequel would bring in more money.
Yeah,
right?
but when you're on top and you have the power and the money, you can stick to your principles. Does that make?
Damn,
That's not even an unpopular opinion,
get you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to think about that.
yeah,
for a fucking
because
week.
I'd have to really,
right? Isn't that crazy?
because I
Woo,
can't.
buddy, we are getting a little wild in
Well,
here.
and it's hard for me to comprehend that much hate for another race, like to even still be affected by it at
It's
that
interesting.
level
You ever heard of
success.
this thing called slavery?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm just
it's
saying,
crazy.
like slavery is the hatred of slavery. I personally feel came from the lower end white people.
Right.
The people that are closest to it.
Mm-hmm.
The people that profited it the most from it, mostly people up north,
Right.
who were very far removed from it. Like,
Sure.
yeah, we receive cotton that's already manicured. Like, we're not doing the whipping or the chopping or the
Right,
anything
right, right,
because
right.
rich people don't, like, they don't concern themselves with that. The hatred has always come from poor people. The hatred, that those are the people who are free to really express themselves. You know what I mean? Like, on any...
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
have slaves. Why would you hate black people? You're like, these guys do a great job, and they don't have to pay them that much.
Right. Like,
And
I mean,
Right.
think about it. You, even at a job, your manager is a dick.
Sure.
Regional's probably nice. Hey, how's everybody doing? You guys want, like, you know what I mean? The
He's
higher
nice
ups.
until the work doesn't get done anymore. So,
Right.
So I think that it could go both ways.
Right.
But that's like the theory that I had about Black Panther, where I think that there might be that the level of hatred you could stick to your morals.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the
Yeah.
only thing. I'm hearing what you're saying. The
Right.
only thing I ever challenge is that kind of hatred
Mm-hmm.
and being, like, rich, wealthy, and successful is just like, well...
You don't have to compromise your beliefs when you're at that level. You could stick to them. As fucked up as they are, is what I'm saying.
But I feel like at that level, you're more open-minded. Like, I don't think billionaires are closed off
Well, no,
mentally.
that's new ones. Like back in the day, like the elite Christians would do shit like that. Same
Right.
thing.
I don't know how much people's minds change when they're closed off because money provides the walls. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Yeah, I think that it doesn't lead to open-mindedness. It's only when you're poorer, you're more open-minded because you have very little choice.
See, I think it's the other way around. Open-minded comes from like leisure, and leisure giving you the time to consume things like art and expression of people outside of your thing. Poor people don't have that opportunity, so like they're totally misguided about other races.
I wonder how it cycles around, like where that goes. Where in some cases you'd be right, some cases I'd be right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like poor people. They're not thinking big enough. That's why they're poor, Dave. They're very close-minded. It's like, why don't you? You ever heard of dreaming about gold bars?
Hilarious.
There
is a famine and feast mindset that one could adopt. You know what I mean? So it's like it can be both ways. you know?
Yeah. Well, and I'm also being biased. I know when I was more poor, I was very, very more close-minded.
Sure.
Now I recognize my open-mindedness comes with some
But
luxuries
also,
that
it's
I've
unfair
afforded
because
myself.
you're in comedy. Like it propels your thought process to go further.
Correct.
Than most people.
But that's what
you
I'm
know?
saying. Even to come off the beaten path, because I don't come from money.
Right.
So to come off of the beaten path to go pursue a career in art and that might not make it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to like where everyone's trying to get out of poverty to dive deeper into it for a longer period of time only to come out later. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's a difference there. You know what I mean?
Well, that's ultimate privilege is to do art.
Yeah, and I told you I used to feel guilty about that. We used to drive to New York together, and I used to feel guilty in the car. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
Like, we're not making any money. We don't even have spots. We're just going up here to look around.
To
We're
hang
burning
out.
gas, and like you're on a turnpike with like people that you think like they seem like they have somewhere important to go, and we're just on here fucking around. You know what I mean? Like, it was really weird. It was good.
I had that one time. I mean, nobody wants to hear that, but it is true. It's like I remember one time I was feeling so good in my life, like I would feel guilty, and it just bums people out.
That's why rich people get suicidal also.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like, don't feel guilty about it. Like, this is just, how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you do well. Sometimes that guy does well. Sometimes you do shitty. But for now, I don't know. Enjoy your life, and that's that.
So enough from us.
Yeah.
What's your unpopular
My
opinion? this week?
unpopular opinion this week would be that anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers are just more fun people. You know, because they're selfish in their choices, and they're going to do the things that they want to do for them. It's sort of like when a woman wants to suck your dick because she likes sucking dick.
Yeah.
Versus she's going to do it for you.
Yeah.
So when she's doing it for you, it's like an obligation.
Yeah.
But when she really likes to, then she's going to fucking do it for her.
Yeah.
And it's going to be spectacular.
I have to totally get on board with that. Yeah. Because selfish people know how to have fun.
Yeah.
And it's weird because when I say selfish in this case for anti-maskers, I don't even mean it in a negative way.
No.
I just know they haven't thought of anyone else but themselves.
How enjoyable is drunk driving?
Oh, yeah. Right?
Yeah, that's another thing. You know what I mean? It's only not fun when you hit someone.
Yeah.
Then it sucks. Then the
Yeah.
whole day is ruined.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh shit. Like I remember driving drunk several times. And then the one time I woke up on the wrong side of the road and I had to veer over 15-foot grass and get back on. And then it became scary.
Yeah.
Because then my life was at a risk here. But in the
Oh,
meantime, I'm dressed up. It was Halloween. I'm dressed up like an Indian woman. I'm just whipping around and I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So
Yeah.
it's about selfish behavior is generally more fun.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
Yeah.
Although, is drinking and driving fun? I always found it
Dude.
terrifying.
Oh, well, buddy, then you haven't really lived.
Yeah. Driving while high used to look like a video game to me, and I would just
Dude, you
love
guys
it.
are fucking-
I'm going to tell you right now, that's where I draw the line, Dave. I think
High?
that absolutely. That's what kind of heathen are you? This is why the temples of Philadelphia don't have money. No, I find it a little too I'm too paranoid when I do it, and I drive way too slow.
Yeah.
I drive slow anyway.
Yeah.
Because I grew up here. So like 20, if you could get your car up to 40 miles in New York City, that's speeding.
Insane, right?
Yeah, that's insane driving.
What are you doing?
Right.
Which I don't understand the people with the pipes and the exhausts here in New York. Those cars are
Because them being able to drive 3 blocks as fast as they can is such a release for them. And it's so pathetic.
But they're not even going fast.
Yeah, I know, but
the ones with the loud
Yeah,
pops that
no, of
everyone
course.
thinks a shotgun went off.
Right. It's like you have a small amount of space to go as quick as possible, and that is all they need. Because you're crammed so much that if you get an avenue of space and you can drive that recklessly quick to them, then it's so much more worth it, is what I'm saying.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
is it easier than seeing a therapist? Yeah. Absolutely. You know what's
Think so? The therapist isn't cheaper than an
no,
exhaust
I mean,
system?
no, yeah, of course, in terms of expenses, but it's like to sit there and divulge your deepest feelings. It'd be so much easier to
That's
sit.
what they do over the car, though.
Yeah, I know,
That's
and
the
it's
one
better.
thing
It's
that
better to
guys
sit
do.
in a hatchback and just rip it and be like, meh, you know?
Yeah.
You know how long it takes to talk to a therapist? Like, in Gone in 60 Seconds, they're like,
Yeah.
no, they're like, I live my life like quarter mile at a time. If you're gonna
Right.
see a therapist, you're living your life at like 10 years at a time.
Literally 60 seconds. Okay,
Yeah.
quarter mile, you're done. That's like 4 seconds, done.
But guys talk to each other under the hood. That's where they get their therapy, under the hood.
Yeah, I mean, and that release.
And
It's the
that's
same thing with
only-
with loud music too. Loud music is, I think, to me, a release as well. It's like I need to get this out. I need people to see me in some way. You know?
I thought it was to cry in like quietly. Like I thought tinted windows and loud music was
You're
so that
sadder
you're
inside.
just in the car crying, but you don't want anyone to know.
But that is so funny to be in the car crying terribly while music is blasting and the windows are tinted.
5%
Yeah.
tint, and you're just really just letting it out. Just like,
Oh, that's so
and that
funny.
is really the only time you have really space to yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So that makes
Yeah.
sense. 100%.
What else? When else are you gonna do it? When you're hitting your wife? No, you're gonna maintain posture and form. You can't sit there and tear up. This is for you. No, you're gonna be like, you made me do it. you know?
yeah.
So.
That is that's interesting, man. This
Yeah.
is good, man. I appreciate it.
Buddy, I always come here with the fucking bangers, you know?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
come in,
yeah.
I'm not gonna come here and half-ass it with you guys.
Well, yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm not here to fuck around, okay?
Fucking around.
Yeah.
That's what we do here. But if people are looking for you to fuck around online, where can they find you?
You
man?
could find me. Everything that I do is on social media. It's under the name All Day KCA, and my podcast, which just dropped today on the 24th, just launched. It's called Meet Me Outside with Kunal C. Aurora, and I'm very excited. I hope that you
Meet
guys.
me outside. What
Yeah.
kind of conversations you having on there?
You know what? It's a double entendre because Meet Me Outside has like a strong rap connotation to it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, where it's just like it's aggressive.
Uh-huh.
And then at the same time, I think that it's sort of it can also not be. It can be aggressive, but it could also be something more chill, like when you would tell a friend, "Hey man, meet me outside." Yeah.
I thought you were gonna do like outdoor Brazilian steakhouse.
That would be when this one fails, then I'll do that. All right, we'll sit there with the swords and shit.
All right, Casey. Thanks for
Thank
stopping
you
by,
so
man.
much. Of
Appreciate
course,
you so
appreciate
much,
it.
man.
Definitely good to see you, bro.
Well,
See you
Casey
both.
Aurora, man, he does bring good opinions, man. He's been rocking with us too since we were doing IG live shows in the house. We've come a long way with this goddamn podcast, man.
Yeah,
It's gonna
smart
keep
guy.
going. Make sure you people like, share, subscribe, and go back and check out some of the previous episodes. Real quick before we go, there was an unpopular opinion that you had in the group. Just
Oh,
being
the
an-
one that I had is that
being an asshole.
Being an asshole is like not even like top 10 worst things you could be.
Not even top 10.
Not even top 10.
What?
Like being an asshole is like not even that big of a deal, I think.
Compared to, so what is bigger than being an asshole?
Let's run it down.
Okay.
Liar,
A liar,
cheater,
cheater.
someone who steals, someone who
Thief.
murders, someone who rapes. That's 5.
I don't know. Aren't these all under the asshole umbrella?
No, because you can. You can be an asshole who rapes and steals and shit. But what if you're an asshole who doesn't do those things?
Wait, no. You can't rape and steal and not be an asshole.
This is interesting because that's that's like I don't know, if you get into like logic, like you ever take the logic class where they say if A is B and B is A, then A is
That is hilarious. To just stand in court. Okay, I did murder those 2 women, but I am not an asshole.
Yeah, I think you can. I think asshole can be. I think it's too easily used and it can be separated.
Okay.
You
So
know?
what should be the proper definition of an asshole?
I don't know about that. That's very difficult. But an asshole is like just someone who people
Rude. Like just rude. Not
Yeah.
polite. Not playing the game.
Yeah, that's too. And like, what's wrong with that if you're rude or not playing the game?
Yeah. So asshole really shouldn't be a negative thing. Maybe we've mislabeled, we've used the wrong word, because asshole does have a negative connotation. Straight shooter. Well, a straight shooter, an asshole.
But we talked about this like earlier. Like, I don't know. I'm a fucking asshole, and like that's
maybe it's just a straight shooter.
yeah. But I don't think I have other qualities that are, who cares if I'm an asshole? Same thing with like we're getting into this time where like they're like Michael Jordan was a jerk. It's like, yeah, who the fuck cares? Kobe Bryant, that guy was mean when he played basketball. He said mean things to the other guys. Like, yeah, who cares? Like, that's not the worst thing you can be. Although Kobe Bryant.
But see, that's like we were talking about earlier. Once you start paying attention to heroes beyond elementary school, yeah, you're aware of the tendencies that don't fit into like the Barney bag.
Yeah, but everybody's evil.
Exactly. Not Barney.
Just how evil are you?
Barney doesn't have a bad day. No puppets on PBS or any of those channels have a bad day. You don't get introduced. I don't even think I saw a teacher spaz out until like 5th grade. You know what I mean? Like 5th grade, middle school is when teachers got honest. They were hungover, hammered. You know what I mean? Like it was a totally different world. I've always said that. 1993, I was 10 years old. That seemed to be the year that the world woke up and started being honest with Dave Temple. You know what I mean? Like, I saw the world for what it was. The music changed. Mm-hmm. There was no longer Kwame. There was no more, it's like Butter Baby and the Polka Dots. It was 1992, gangster rap came out. Fucking NWA and Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, all of that shit. And I'm like, okay. In 93, the East Coast went gangster. And it was Wu-Tang. It was Biggie. Like the energy was different. No longer sneakers. We're wearing Timbs. We're not tying them up. We're walking around with bats and pit bulls. It was just weird. And 93 is when I started to see adults fighting more. Like it was like if a fight broke out and kids were around, if you were under 10, you got ushered away to not see that. Over 10, you got to watch a bloody fight.
That's interesting. That is I like that.
Yeah. So
on some level.
Yeah, I started seeing the world for what it was at a young age, and I think that's where that asshole connotation is. It's just, hey, straight shooter, man.
Yeah, sure. I mean, some people say that Jesus Christ was an asshole. They beat that motherfucker like it's. I shouldn't call him motherfucker. That's sacrilegious, but.
I'm sure he was called worse that day.
But they're like, this guy's an asshole. We're gonna beat him. We're gonna beat him and nail him to a log.
What do you think that's like? If you talked shit that like there, and then you died and had to answer later, like, oh, we didn't know. Like you figure the first few years of people coming to heaven's gates, they get a pass because the gospel hadn't been written yet. And no one knew the story. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
can't believe it. You're like, I mean, come on. I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
There's no way that.
So anybody 5 AD and under, you're automatically in. All right, man. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up, man. Comrade, say goodbye to the people.
All right. Good night, everybody. Have a good day. And COVID is fake.
Are you on social media for people to find you now, or what? Are you ever going to come back to social media?
Social media's for fucking losers, Dave.
All right. Well, in that case, you can find me on all social media platforms at I'm Dave Temple. Interact with me and come be a loser with me and me alone. I'm Dave Temple. These are Unpopular.